Welcome to Technology.
Automotive.
Oh,
What? Gaming.
Beer.
Beer.
Today we're having a conversation about beers. Busch versus KC versus MGD.
We're discussing beer.
No.
No, we're not discussing beer.
Beer.
We're discussing the death of the ICE engines and Tesla.
Sounds so sad.
I'm
I'm so happy about it.
I'm so sad. So here's why I'm sad. Thing is I just recently drove his Tesla and it didn't suck. It didn't. It didn't suck at all. It's very fun. I think the whole tech thing would just too much for me because I'm just a focused driver, like all the instruments in front of me. But there's no manual, and the problem is it's actually really good. And that really goodness is really going to drive people towards Tesla. There's no denying that. And because now Tesla, his version is no longer really available, the long range is now all-wheel drive, right? Dual motor.
Yep. It's only available in all-wheel drive dual motor. Yep. And then the standard range is still rear-wheel drive, but that's lower range. But that works for most people.
How long is the standard range?
I think it's 245 miles.
You see, but every day that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, and that's the thing. The problem is.
And for towing though.
No.
Well,
how much
you
is
can
your
tow with the Model 3.
Okay, so here's
Or
the thing.
Model Y, which is based on Model 3, you
3,500
can
pounds.
tow.
3,500.
Well, you can't with Model 3 because it's a car. I would never buy an SUV.
In Europe, you can. I don't know why you can't in the US, but in Europe, you can.
Probably regulations with towing. There's like I told you before, the whole import thing. There's rules in the United States. That don't
But we're exporting all Model 3s from the US.
but it's rules. It's all about rules and regulations there.
It's weird. I don't
So
get
what's the towing capacity of the Model 3? Because this is realistic in Europe. Do you know what it is in Europe?
I think it's 1,500.
Oh, see, that's where the
not
Celica, both me and Brittany's Celica meets at 2,000 pounds, and that is.
But I'm not sure. So somebody's gonna have to overlay it like in this section of the video of what it actually
We'll
is.
look it up. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's because I can't claim to know that for sure. I
But-
believe it's 1,500 and 3,500 for the Model Y, but hopefully it'll appear in the video.
Yeah, we'll
Somebody
make it
actually
work.
looks that up.
Is that why?
That'll be that guy.
Is that why Priuses don't have third row? The Prius 5 doesn't have a third row back here. It's because of regulation.
Yes,
Or
it does
is
in Europe because here we have rear impact safety ratings where they don't so much in Europe. It's not that they're unsafe in Europe. It's that they understand that you're gonna die either way. It makes no sense to expect a car to do certain things when it's a vehicle.
So it's not we're just fat.
That's part of it. But no, we can't have a third row here. Just like the Model S, it actually took. Sucking it in.
Yeah.
Sucking it in. It actually took the Model S, which you probably didn't know. It took the Model S. They didn't originally have the third row in the Model S. It took them a while to actually get it approved to have the third row. And the third row it's in there is a little rubbish.
It's for kids.
It's for kids. It's a little rubbish, and it has to be rubbish.
You know why they have a third row in the Model S?
Because it's nice.
Elon Musk
convenient.
has 5 kids, now 6. But he wanted to take them all in his car, so he made the company.
It was tough to do.
Yeah.
It was
But that-
a little extra work.
Makes perfect sense. So I can't tell you how many times I've been sitting and you're like, even if it's you and just your girlfriend going somewhere, but then you all go with a group of people, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're going, we want to go to a bar, we want to go here, we want to go.
Technically,
Do
it's legal
something.
because you might be like this.
But
But
you're in
it's
there.
legal. So you
I
can
like
say
that.
we need 1 DD. But normally if you have 4 or 5 passenger cars, you go, oh, we're literally 1 seat short. And that
And
one
somebody's in the
third
trunk.
row, exactly, illegally. Shane did it once in the Dells.
We both.
We both did it?
We were in the back
Oh, we
together.
did. That's right.
We took 7
Yeah.
people.
But it was legal, not illegal. Legal, sorry.
I mean, so I agree with the third row. I think though it did take a lot for Elon Musk to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he actually had to work around what he could do for the regulations. And also this, something that I've been arguing for a long time. My friend had a 1994 1994 Ford Taurus. Cool thing about Taurus, 6 seats. But just a sedan. Had 6 seats because like a lot of old cars, bench seat up in the front, passenger sat down. Now it's just a car.
The passenger seat, the middle passenger seat in the front
Yes,
car is
and
ridiculous.
it had a full strap. It had a full strap, and literally, this is the coolest thing in the world. When you had the cup holders down, the full strap would buckle into there, hiding it, so you never even knew it was there. So it's kind of cool. So you had to unbuckle it from this. It had this special little buckle that did nothing but buckle it to hide it away.
You kind of missed the Tesla that in the back seat you have the 2 cup holders.
I did miss it, yeah, but I mean, cup holders are cup holders. It does have that. But the Prius has a cup holder in the bottom, so you can still have all the passengers with cup holders. But I'm not really worried about cup holders. I'm just saying, while I do like the Teslas having those rear seats, at the same time, like, I get what you're saying, but anyone who gets in the back, they should be teeny tiny because they're for subhumans. They're human compartment areas. If you're the driver and the passenger, you're the one who's driving and the one who's mating with the person who's driving.
When you go to the bar,
that's what
are your friends subhuman?
Yeah, because they're not driving their own goddamn self.
Touche.
Rock, paper, scissors.
What if they don't want to drink and drive?
Then let's go home.
Well, then they're temporarily relegated to the back seat because they're getting a free ride.
Yeah, they have to accept the fact that they're stuck in the back because they're getting a free ride.
But for like a $50,000 car, you better feel kind of comfortable in the back seat.
In the rear? No.
Yeah.
That's not my thing. And
well, that's not for everybody. I get
that another problem that I have with cars today, which Tesla's feeding onto, which they have to because they're selling so many cars. And how many Model 3s are they selling now a year?
I don't know. They're breaking records every quarter. They sell them as fast as they can make them. I think they sell in this last quarter total 130,000 cars.
In 1 quarter.
In 1 quarter.
So that's if you multiply that by 4, there's 4 quarters.
They're planning on making 500,000 cars total. That's S, X, 3, and Y. 500,000 this year in 2020, and that's with the shutdown that happened.
Okay.
So they're probably gonna fall short, I would guess, because the shutdown happened. But yeah.
Let's just say they're selling at least 400,000 car units a year. That's a decent amount.
They're gonna blow through that, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's a decent amount.
Almost at 400,000.
And they have to sell to all the fat Americans out there.
And the Chinese.
And the Chinese. They have to.
Yeah, they're selling Europe. They're selling all over the place. But China and the U.S. are their main market.
They have to market to the shift, which is the world, which is leading to lazy, fat communists. And that's what they have to lead to.
Actually, they're very much capitalist. And very against...
I don't think an SUV is capitalist. Capitalism is exceptionalism. Exceptionalism is cool, small, sporty.
Utility vehicle. Sport.
Yeah, that's not. It's utility.
A Model X can beat a Lamborghini in a drag race. How capitalist is that?
Because it looks very boring. It has gullwing doors, but they're only in the back.
You want gullwing doors in the front too?
I want the whole thing to be a gullwing door. One big ass gullwing door.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
Oh no!
It shouldn't even be an option. So it should be inconvenient for everything. So that would be cool.
Here's what they should do: the old vans, the old hippie vans, the Volkswagen vans, but with one big gullwing door that just the whole side is a gullwing door.
You know what?
Yes.
You laugh.
That's what it should be.
That would be pretty cool.
I would buy that. I will not buy that. But I'd buy that.
And you make it so that. Not only the doors open up, but a piece of the panel opened up, so it looks like real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just looks absurd.
It cuts off and it looks absurd.
Yes, absurd. No purpose whatsoever but to look absurd. Yes, that would sell.
I think if you ask Elon Musk now, he would say that the Falcon Wing doors were absurd.
He said that I think his quote was. They were ridiculously hard to make. They never should have been made, and they will probably never happen again in the future.
Well,
so when the X dies, that door style will never happen again because the complexity of manufacturing that with the tolerances that you have probably were incredibly difficult.
It's because he tried to add technology into it.
He didn't understand manufacturing.
I love technology, but there's something about a DeLorean. There's no technology, and it's just simply open up perfectly.
But you have to have a lot of clearance on the sides. The Falcon Wing doors.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because you're talking about an SUV. That's a car. There's a difference. You need
the doors just open up. The doors just come out.
But they actually
Falcon Wing doors can come up and then out.
Yeah, you're thinking in American modern SUV things. If you think of a car, like the DeLorean is no bigger than my Toyota Celica. It's slightly shorter actually, but the height is the same. So when it opens up, you just need 1.5 feet. It's actually. It's 1 inch higher and 1.5 feet, so it's 19 inches. You need 19 inches of clearance, which is like that much.
Yeah, the Model X needs less than that.
Okay, but either way, it's a car, needs 19 inches of clearance inside just to open up its door because it's a car. Now when you have an SUV, you have to do that little...
Because you're good 3 to 5 inches wider on each side.
and taller.
Well,
the height.
the
height
S&X are wide cars.
They're wider cars.
They are wide
But
cars.
when you look at a DeLorean, they're a lot thinner.
They're go-kart.
And also, when you do look at the DeLorean, they're hinged in literally practically dead center. It's not quite
hardly
center,
anything,
dead
yeah.
center
Just like that
of the car. So the door is literally all above you. So the clearance to lift up is not that wide. In fact, a lot of people say that they can get out of a DeLorean in a tight spot better than a real door in a tight.
Oh, yeah,
a
for sure.
regular car in a
Yeah,
tight
You can
spot.
certainly do that.
Yeah, especially if you're a little bit wider and fatter than most people.
Yeah. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is the electric car is gonna come, and they are for I mean, you call them capitalists you want, but exceptionalism. People are exceptional like me who strive for something. There's nothing to strive for anymore. There's nothing to strive for. There really isn't. I mean, you say there is.
Gas cars cannot compete with electric
I'm
cars
not.
anymore.
I'm saying manual. Make a manual electric. They can do. Just do it just to do it, not because it's better. Do it.
There we
do
go.
It.
Shifting into the manual gears.
Right now, you got so for the time being, what the main goal of EVs is the mass. You have to get that to the masses. Once you get to the masses, then they're gonna come down to the people like you.
No, they won't.
They will.
There's no reason, because even look at in Europe. Look in Europe. The trend in Europe is it took 10 years to go to what it is. But the trend in Europe is SUVs just like in America. Now, if you also look at like the Miata and other sales of sports cars, the Miata back in the early 2000s selling 30,000 to 40,000 units a year. Now they're down to about 20-some thousand a year. I mean, there was this last gen might have not happened. They're telling it was going to happen because of there's just no sales. There's no benefit to it. And before, what was keeping us alive was they used it for other cars like the RX-8. Again, dead car. A lot of ICE cars are dying. Sports cars are dying. There's really not a lot of sports cars around. You got
Sports ice cars are back. There's a lot of sports EV cars,
But
sports
they're
Taycan.
high price, really
High price
high.
things.
For now, because the battery
You're
technology
talking
is
about
Here's the thing.
hundreds of
There's
thousands.
going to
of,
be a sporty EV that's going to come out in the next 5 years. I guarantee you that's going to be reasonably priced. Maybe it's not going to be the range where there are a lot of people of like me of moderate incomes are going to buy it brand new. But in 10, 15 years, the used ones, there's going to be some nice sporty.
But
I honestly think it's not on Tesla's radar right now, but I think in 10 years they will be like, we're creating a two-door, compact, sporty type car. Will it be a roadster? No, it won't go probably that fast, but it will definitely be a car
I think you're
geared
right.
towards the sporty type
So-
people who want a small, compact car, maybe even hatchback.
I don't know, guys.
That
I can see
there's no
because-
profit in it.
But the thing is,
no
so
profit in it.
Tesla's whole thing is to crush the internal combustion engine car. They're doing it right now by power, acceleration, all that stuff. They're trying to make it so their cars beat most other people on the drag race strip that they have no right beating. An SUV beating a Lamborghini, Tesla does it. They have no right to do it, but they do it. They beat Lamborghinis on the drag race. So what they're gonna do, I can see, they're coming out with like the Model S Plaid, which is gonna crush any $1 million fucking supercar. And I can honestly see them saying, like, what's your next goal? Once you beat the $1 million supercar with a $150,000 large sedan, once they do that, what is the next goal? Like, what is the next thing that you want to do? You want to come up with a sporty car that's inexpensive. That's the next way to put the smack down on gas.
And they might even look into it and be like, look at people like you and be like, those type of gearheads don't necessarily want simplicity in the
That's the next convert. That's the last convert.
They could literally say, we will add more gadgets. We will add more displays.
I don't want more gadgets. I don't want more displays.
But you're all about your gadgets.
No, I think you guys don't listen to what I'm saying. So what I want is a damn gauge that gives me miles per hour, RPMs, oil pressure.
That's a gadget.
volts output.
That's what I'm saying.
Not a gadget, it's a car.
No, you're not going to
Wait,
get
wait.
oil pressure.
There's
But you
no
could
oil
have,
pressure.
You could have battery heat.
Either way, I
You
see
could
what
throw
you're
battery
saying.
heat in there.
But I think that the automotive engine will take time to die because people still buy that $1 million car. Shane will still go out and say there's a Tesla that is what you're saying is a coupe and all that, but it's not manual. And then let's say that Toyota decides to take their GT A6, make it a hatchback, and it can tow 2,000 pounds. And I'm just like, that's a manual. Only goes 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. That's faster, but I'm bored. I want gauges, and I want one button. That's it. Well, most of these get one button that says everything's off.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Fun time. It's a dying thing. I don't think you guys. It is dying.
You need a hug because.
Do you need a shoulder to cry on?
No, I'm just saying it's not going to happen in the future. I think you guys have to realize that people like me,
right.
we are going to die, and because of that,
You'll be alive. It's just your passion.
passion will die, and because of that, people like me are gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna in 10 years when the ice engines are dying, I'm gonna have a choice, and hopefully they make hatchback version of Toyota GT86. I like the Toyota GT86. I just don't like trunks. I think they're stupid. Hopefully they make a hatchback version, and if they do make a hatchback version, and there's a Tesla choice, obviously it'd be more financially beneficial to buy a Tesla. But I wouldn't buy that. I would buy the other one. Is it slower? Yes. Is it gonna cost me more in the long run? Maybe, but it's Toyota, they never die.
Well, you're going to be a dying breed.
You're also looking.
Yeah,
your breed is going to go extinct.
No, we are.
You're also looking at the fact that you're pretending Tesla's the only company out there. You think
They
that
are by far
Tesla.
not. The Ford
You think
Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E is a solid car.
Yeah, but my point.
I haven't learned a lot about it.
My point is
they don't know how to they don't know how to review that car very well.
Well, they're not out yet.
I know, but
My-
they're really not selling it.
Yeah, they're not selling it at all.
No, they're not selling it to the consumer because they're not advertising it quite right.
Yeah.
My point is that just because Tesla right now is the mainstream market of the battery cars, that there will be other companies that come out, and they may not get rid of that simplicity dash, and they may keep the same dash, and they might even come out with better. In fact, Tesla even promotes competition. They're like, compete with
But
us.
they're never going to have the stick shift.
They're gonna have a
They're
manual.
never gonna
No, you'll never have the manual.
chain.
I don't know what to
So
tell
there's
you.
just- there's no
Because-
point
But
buying.
here's what they have.
Because it is actually more profitable for performance to not have the stick shift. I'm sorry with it. It's like,
Here's the way I see what's going on.
Doesn't matter.
Myself. When the iPhone came out, I remember when the iPhone came out, the iPhone 2 and 3, and I was sitting here, I was like, I like my physical keyboard. Like, I like
I
being
still
able to
miss
feel
the
the
physical
buttons.
keyboard.
I do, honestly. I'm typing
still
on,
miss it.
like, playing amongst us,
Sometimes
and I'm
it's
trying to
fun.
type on the keyboard, and I get so irritated because I hit the wrong button because you have no physical buttons. Like, I bought one of those quasi wannabe smartphones with the you flip it up and you have your
Yeah,
keyboard. And
me too.
I was very staunch, but I'm not giving that up. I want that. Unfortunately, and I still miss it, as
I
I said. But you just can't. You can't keep it and have the smartphones. Like they just don't offer it.
No,
And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of electric cars. Like we're all going to have things about gas cars that we like, whether it's the shifting. I refuse to buy anything but a stick shift for over a decade. Like I have a stick shift. That's what I wanted. And I never was going to buy anything but a stick shift until Tesla came out. Until I saw the Model 3 and I could afford it, and I bought one. I was never going to have anything but a stick shift. I hate hitting the gas and having to wait, and then it goes, and like you're on the interstate, and it's like I want to pass this person, but like not super fast. I just want to like get over them. But then the car says, "Oh, you want to go fast," and then it drops the gear, and it's like you don't have a choice between how fast you go. I hate automatics; they're terrible. But you don't like you have the choice of how fast you go with the Tesla, because how fast you put the gas pedal down correlates directly with how fast you're going. It's just you push it halfway down, your head hits backrest, and you're going.
It is fast. Not gonna deny that.
And
That's fast.
it's instant response. So you have that control that you have with the manual. You don't have the delay. You don't have a lot of that, but you don't quite have that tactile feel that like the manual, like the touch keyboard gives you.
I do agree with that.
We're gonna. I think what's gonna happen is we're all gonna move past that. I want a physical keyboard thing when it comes to electric cars. You can give it up, and you're always gonna miss it. Like if I could have a Pixel 3 XL that has a flip down keyboard, I'd take it in a
that'd be
heartbeat.
nice.
That'd be amazing.
I'd buy that.
But it's
And
never
they've-
gonna happen.
they've
If
tried
we
to-
could have a Tesla Model 3 with a stick shift, but that you could put it in autopilot and just sit back and have it drive itself without any jerkiness, without any shifting, I'd take that too. If I could choose to shift and choose to not, that'd be awesome. But that's one of the things that we're gonna always kind of look back at with that nostalgia that we'll never have again.
I know, it's a shame. My car, total, what I spent in it was how much it cost, tires, oil, everything. And all the maintenance is at around $9,000, okay? So I said, let's say $30,000, which would be gas. And I'm leaving $10,000 for maintenance, okay? So let's say $30,000. All right. Well, if you do the math right now, $2 a gallon, I'm looking at with 27 miles a gallon, which I average easily. I'm looking at 405,000 miles. Car will never last that long. It's a fact. Now, even if you want way back when gas was $4 a gallon, which I had a car back then, you're looking at 202,000 miles. That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah.
That's a lot, and my car won't even last long. And to be honest,
well, that's just based on gas, right? Or is that gas?
Just based on gas.
Okay.
And then I'm putting
and maintenance.
Well, I'm giving $10,000 of maintenance maybe, because I'm saying $30,000. Because yours 52, mine I only put 9,000. So basically, I'm saying how long would it take for mine to cost the same as yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this isn't a brand new car. Now if you were to take like a brand new,
used car, you're always gonna take the chunk of depreciation for the dummy you bought it. Brand new, you're always gonna, benefit off that dummy.
That's for sure.
Dummy like me, you bought a brand new car.
Right.
You're gonna benefit off that.
So and then you did argue. I remember years ago you argued. He goes, this will last me forever. But then you only owned it for like 10 years. Less. You owned it for like 8.
Mm-hmm. My Civic, I owned it for 11.
11. Okay. But you bought it for $20,000.
Yep.
And you used it for 11 years.
Yep.
Okay.
And I sold it for $5,000.
Yeah.
So $15,000 for 11 years.
Gone.
Yeah.
I bought it for $1,000.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but it's stuck in a garage, up on stilts.
Because the transmission is just hard to get replaced. I tell you what.
But the thing is, hold on.
Check out that video
You
up there.
replace the transmission yourself.
Check that video
out.
Okay, but
you can't do that in a Tesla. Can you do that in a Tesla right now?
But how much? But you can't. How much is that labor worth?
I have no idea. No one's ever done it. I know it for me.
No one's ever done it. I guarantee you, someone's done it. I guarantee you.
I never quoted anyone because I did it myself.
But that is worth it. Like your time is. If you could do that in a car, you could do that in somebody else's car.
Well, that
is worth
starts
money.
a whole nother argument. How do you work on a Tesla on your own?
But the thing, that is argument. But how many Tesla buyers are going to work on my own car?
Again, you starting another argument. Why would I buy a Tesla if I can't work on it? You're starting whole new arguments.
I will.
Rich rebuilds. Well, he said
he has a lot of problems. I've watched these videos. A lot of problems.
I will agree with that because
Tesla makes it hard.
Here's my biggest complaint. My biggest complaint with Tesla is I would love for Tesla to say, "Here's a car now." And the battery's gonna last. Let's just say 300. I mean, the new ones are.
That's about what they say for the current model.
Let's just say 300. It's gonna last 300,000 miles.
It doesn't quite work like that.
And then
it's not a linear drop.
And then they go, you'll need it replaced. Well, after 300,000 miles, I've done this on the Prius. Now I could make a video on that, but there's so many better videos than I could ever make on how to replace that.
That really helped us out. We replaced it with the white Prius. It worked great.
We stole my mom's battery, threw it in my battery. It worked great. Now, if Tesla would have continued doing what they did with the Model S, literally everything on the underside of the battery, bolts, perfect. The moment they switched to you have to gut the inside of the car, remove seats and everything to pull upper bolts out to remove the battery. Now it makes your job from a simple pulling, what is it, a 24 or so bolts out of a Model S to drop the whole bed, replace the battery. For probably by the point it dies, there are going to be companies out there trying to figure out how to regenerate them and pop a new one in. You now have to take it to a service center and pay $14,000
right.
to have it replaced.
You gotta look at their mindset though. Like, this is a company that's going for a 1,000,000-mile battery. So if you have a 1,000,000-mile battery, like, your control arms are going to be rusted off, replaced, and rusted off again before you need to replace that battery.
For the 1,000,000 miles, yes.
Yes. So what is the benefit of doing that? Like, by the time your battery is dead, you're just going to push that bitch up to a recycling center and say recycle this and be done with it.
But some people like me have never bought a brand new car in my life.
No.
Ever.
Yes, but
I would rather push the car to its limits to the point where it's
so dead.
But the benefit of a battery operated car is you sit there and you go, there's no motor. There's no pistons. There's no gear shaft. There's no nothing.
And it could be cheaper.
I do not have to rip it apart.
Right, and
the only thing I have to do
is the battery.
spend $2 to $3 grand a new battery.
Let me see
the battery lasts a million miles.
It doesn't matter. Batteries fail.
Right.
Let me say this. Even Chevy does not make it easier to replace the batteries. Every company is doing that.
Chevy's garbage.
They are garbage.
They are garbage.
But
But cheers on that. We all agree.
Chevy
is garbage.
But
Electric
I will say this: we don't
ice.
know about the Chevy Bolt.
Well, I'll give
We don't know yet. It's new.
The only
We
issue,
don't know.
well, the Chevy Bolt has been out for years, 5 years plus.
We don't know its reliability. We've never really seen. They don't
5
have.
years is not enough time to.
We don't. It is kind of, but no one's ever. So far, it's been pretty reliable. We can't.
It's a nice car. The shitty thing about it is they make no money on it.
They do make no
sell for a
money.
loss.
I know, it's crazy. It drives me nuts how they do that, and that's the problem. My whole argument is this: I get what you guys are saying. I get maintenance and everything aside. For me, even if I was a millionaire, I would still buy that $1 million ICE vehicle with the manual transmission. Why? Just because I can. Is it faster? No.
Because you get the tactile feel.
Is it going to be more reliable?
Keyboard, it's that physical keyboard.
I even bought for years for my iPhone. He got me, it broke, I bought again, was a keyboard that connected by Bluetooth for my iPhone.
Yep.
I had it for years and I loved it.
Keyboard?
Yes, it's fantastic.
I would buy one of those today.
And the thing is,
they just don't make them anymore.
They don't make them
I know.
And the thing is, nothing will ever sell me on anything you guys are saying, maintenance or anything wise. If you say, oh, this car will never die, it lasts forever, you just drive it. I might buy that vehicle for everyday driving, but I'd still buy that $1 million manual drive vehicle just because.
That always
just because.
I would always miss that stick shift driving feel like for even my Civic, like it's not a sporty car, but that kind of shifting feeling, I'll always miss that.
That's the main thing. I'll buy it because I'll miss it, and it's gonna die. That's the thing. When it does die, because I am very convinced I'm gonna buy a between 89 to 93 Toyota All-Track Turbo. I'm gonna buy one, and I'm only gonna use it for vacations. I'm gonna drive it every month, just keep it going, keep it pristine. I'm gonna have it so when I'm 80-some years old and about to die, I can take that thing, go out for a drive. Will I beat anyone on the track?
Finish it all off.
Yeah, there you go. I'll finish myself up. It's no longer worth it. I'm going for the tree. No, but I will drive it till I die because, not because it's fast, not because it's better than everything else, just because it's fun. And that's the thing. Manual little fun drive cars are fun, and yes, the ICE engine is dying. And I have no problem with the ICE engine. I actually like the whoosh that the Tesla makes. I think it's a cool whoosh.
The buzz, what is that hum that you get when you...
I love
like
that.
a spaceship taking off.
Think if someone just said, let's make that hum, let's unmodify this motor so it's not as quiet. Put a manual drive transmission on it so it's louder. So it goes whee! So every time you get to the high RPM, you really hear it scream. And then put a manual in there. Why? Because we can.
Yeah.
If someone did that, that'd be great. But I don't think they will. So I'm just gonna have to live with the ICE engine.
I was trying to say
just
this
no
earlier, but you say no one will.
I don't think they will.
But
There's no reason to.
Well, people will.
There'll
but
be
not.
enthusiasts that have either aftermarket pieces that.
But will it be accessible for the average
It won't.
Joe? Like right now,
so.
you can get like a Toyota Celica or whatever.
You can get British Toyota Celica, but here's the thing. It's the manual tax. There's a manual. It used to be the drift tax for some cars. Now there's a manual tax. If you want to buy a Britney's car with an automatic, the 4-speed automatic, it will only cost you $2,000 with a GTS. If you want to buy a Toyota Celica with a manual, you're looking at anywhere between $3,000 and $3,500.
Why?
$50 because it's a manual. No other reason.
They're rare.
There's no other reason.
Why does it cost?
So my Civic manual sold like that. It like fucking. I put it on the
I guarantee you,
gone.
because it's a manual. There's no other reason. People want manuals.
It was a car guy who bought it. It was a guy who buying cars, and you fucking.
I was looking at Toyota Tundra trucks. The manuals are way cheaper than the.
Because it's a Tundra truck. Nobody buys a truck to shift. Like they buy trucks for utility.
Yeah.
Do actually. You
off-road.
I would never take an automatic in the mud. Ever.
You wouldn't get out.
But Tundra trucks are not necessarily muddy trucks, they're work trucks. Who buys a truck to mud?
I think everyone should buy a truck.
Well, the work truck. You drive it on grass into the field and whatever. They're work trucks. You take them to do work, grass, fields, whatever, in the mud. You're not literally. I'm not talking about taking it in to go mudding into a mud field. I'm talking about taking it into the snow, into rough terrain, whatever else. And the moment you get stuck, This is the biggest thing about. I'm a truck driver. The biggest thing about trucks is the moment they went to automatic,
take these trucks
you get stuck and you slip. There's
They don't take
no
these trucks
rocking.
off-road. They don't take these
I
trucks
get what he's saying.
off-road.
You're not.
You're on construction sites. You have gravel roads. You have, like, these trucks do not go off-road.
It's convenience. Like you're saying, that's why I've been saying for a long time. People are lazy.
The heavy equipment goes off-road and makes paves the way for the trucks that go on the gravel roads or whatever. They don't go into the fucking boonies. They just don't.
I agree with what you're saying.
The mass market don't.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same with the SUVs. No one cares. No one wants to go off-road. No one buys a
Don't
SUV.
tell a
Who
farmer.
bought an H2 and ever took it off-road?
All I have to say
is H2.
Yeah, they never go off-road. They don't go
They're
off-road.
retarded.
The only people who buy an off-road vehicle is if you bought a Jeep Rubicon, a Wrangler Rubicon with the 6-speed manual, and you bought the 4-wheel drive with the cool little roll bars that disconnect, you know, then yes, perfect.
But all these work
Don't tell a
trucks,
farmer that though.
No, because he's gonna want just his average truck because he's just going on the grass.
all the trucks
Have you ever
that
seen-
you're talking about, Tristan,
What?
they have the heavy equipment go on there putting gravel down.
Yeah,
for them.
have
Not
you-
farmers. Not farmers.
No, farmers have tractors.
They have tractors. They don't fucking
They
go
do,
out
but
and mud in their
most
trucks.
all farms I go to, they all have manuals in there, not automatic.
Yes, but how many? You have like
Percentage-wise.
70 some acres, and they have one truck. The
More than one
trucks
truck.
sell. The trucks sell to, like, the people who need to work, then the people that need to go off road, and then the schmucks that buy trucks because the people that need to work buy the trucks that make them look cool. That's what got the Cybertruck. So like the Cybertruck is hideous.
It looks cool.
It grew on
It
me.
mainstream. It grows on you when a lot of people first started it looked hideous.
It's a totally different topic.
It is
It's
a
okay.
different topic,
Move into it.
but it is a topic that is what we're going for. Like, so Tristan's saying like manual trucks is Tristan thinks would be more mainstream, right? Mm-hmm. What we're saying is, well, automatic trucks are mainstream because the big
People are
equipment.
lazy.
Well, the big equipment paves the way for those trucks, so
Yeah,
you don't
people are
need
lazy.
the manual, and people are lazy.
They're lazy. Why would
Yeah.
they want to do work? They'll have to. I mean,
So,
it's
but
America.
but also.
Ugh.
So, you ever seen them dumb people that have them lifted up trucks, super powerful, big beds that don't have even scratch on them?
Yeah.
Like, that's a majority of trucks that are sold. The
show
people
off.
are like, hey, you got a truck, can I move my shit? Well, we gotta put a blanket down on my bed.
Yeah, that'd be our friend. Oh, I don't know. We can't
Exactly.
scratch my bed.
It's a Honda Ridgeline.
It's Honda Ridgeline.
Not a
It's
show truck.
That's not
But he
even.
didn't want to scratch his bed. He likes his speakers. He got his truck for the speakers in the bed, the coolers in the bed, all that dumb shit. Like, but he didn't buy it for a work truck. But that's the thing.
God.
So
The
the
Ridgeline's
work
actually-
Oh, and
good
he
truck,
uses the
too.
cubby compartment for a cooler, even though the
Yeah.
ice melts in like 5 hours.
I'll just say that
he has the speakers in the bed and all that shit. A bed is for equipment, not for speakers and party.
I will say it's the Ridgeline. It's actually a really good truck.
If you use it for actually being a
Yeah, because it's a perfect. It's the only thing in my opinion that defends against the Tundra. Because right now, Tundra is like reliability, affordability. It's a great truck. The only problem it has is transmission. But besides that,
Exactly, you can't get in a manual.
But
no, it's just not a great truck.
They
So
don't.
this-
They don't sound in the manuals.
this is why the internal combustion engine truck is dead, though, because when it comes to performance and when you're looking at like what you need on a job site, the Cybertruck is going to meet it. You need 240 volts for welding, you got it. You need
Yeah, it's true.
So building a new construction house, you need a tap into the electrical line from the electrical company. That
Yeah.
costs $100 just have it come and do that. If you can say, hey, I don't need that, I'll plug in
Charge
my
it
truck
somewhere else.
every day. No, you just plug in your truck every day. You can have a 200 kilowatt hour battery. A normal house uses 14 kilowatt hours per day. You can have a 200 kilowatt hour battery.
True,
You can run a full house for a week on that. So you can run a construction site, no problem. You drive home, you plug in your car, or you plug in your house at night, at nighttime rates at 5 cents per kilowatt hour.
Cheap.
You're forgetting
It's
about
cheap.
the air compressor built in. You can go
Yes.
ahead and knock out nails all day long on
Yeah.
the frickin' thing. Boom,
Never
boom,
have-
boom,
Let's
boom,
hope
boom.
that it's actually high capacity air compressor that has a higher PSI, at least 100 or so.
Yes, it's
Yeah, it does.
linked into the suspension.
Oh, well then great. So then that's nice. I agree. I agree with what you were both of you were saying.
So, but what's going to happen is the utility. Anybody who actually sits there and says, "I have a job I want to do. and the truck that'll do it is going to look at that and be like, regardless of what they think of the looks, they're going to look at the utility and be like, I have no choice. So then the people who go and say, I want a pristine truck that nobody's going to ever touch because I'm a pristine little bitch who wants like something that looks cool, they're going to go after the people that actually do work with the trucks. And then look at them, think they're cool, and buy something to mimic it. And that's why
that's what most trucks are doing right now.
Yeah. Them high raised up, no scratches in the bed, cold rolling trucks.
And I think actually, on top of it, Tesla is perfecting the batteries and the drivetrain and everything on this truck to the point where it should be more efficient to tow a vehicle, but even if it's not, and you get the 500-mile range, cut that in half. Even if whatever you're towing cuts your miles in half, 300 miles right off of that, 250, 300 miles right off of that, it's still plenty to tow something.
Yeah, especially because you're towing, you're not going 70. You should be going 70.
Also, rumors that came out yesterday. So they're building a supercharger facility in the Shanghai plant. So there's the capacity of the electric equipment in the area of the superchargers is actually capable of 500 kilowatt hours per supercharger. So right now the 250 kilowatt hour superchargers, that is Supercharger V3. So my car, if I show up at Supercharger at 0% rate, I could plug in, and for the first 15 minutes I would get 1,000 miles per hour charge. So I could get basically charge halfway in 5 minutes.
Wow.
They're saying that they're gonna
5. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's insane. I can charge halfway in like 1,000 miles per hour. What's 5 minutes?
That's like 8 kilowatts a minute.
It's insane.
That's 8 kilowatts a minute. So in 10 minutes you have over 80 kilowatts. That would overcharge your battery.
So you wouldn't even be able to charge. It'll taper as the battery fills up.
With 500 kilowatts, that's a lot.
So that's the theory based on the electric.
You like plug in your car, run into the gas station, buy your food, you come out.
Well, even if you have a Tesla truck and you charge the whole goddamn thing, if it has a 200 or 250 kilowatt hour battery, whatever it has.
That's in 15 minutes. That would be a half hour. Taper after you get over 60%.
But still, so when you're at 45 minutes, alright, still all that, you wouldn't even, because it's that long range, you wouldn't even need that long, because you have to pee eventually anyway.
So what I'm saying is like, the concern about gas pumps is going to be gone.
I get what Tristan's saying, I get what you're saying. I think the utility with trucks is kind of disappearing.
But people like you, be like me and you, we won't have that tactile.
We won't have that.
Hit the actual buttons.
And at the end of the day, someone like me is gonna buy. If I was a millionaire, I'd buy like a really nice. TVR is coming out with a new Griffith. That'd be awesome. But either way, I can't afford that, so I just buy another used like Celica or Miata, and I'll maintain it pristinely for years and years. So when I'm 80 years old and almost dead, I can have that tactile feeling. And when I die, it will die with me because I'm a
just
tree.
have to drive 60 miles to get gas for it.
Yeah, the gasoline costs. I have to order gas online.
No, you
Amazon
gas. A barrel. There's your barrel of fuel.
Yep. You just have it delivered to your house and pumped off into a tank and walk around taking it.
Probably.
They don't oil right now. Oil fighter running.
You're probably right. Either way, that's gonna happen. I think we're just gonna have to accept the fact that the manual drive car is done, and if they do keep it alive, I will be shocked. My prediction is it will not stay alive, and we just have to do.
5 years.
I agree. There's not many manuals around. It's in Europe. It's still a 40% people are driving it. But you got to remember, 10 years ago, it was over 50%, and 30 years ago, it was 70% of cars were manuals in Europe. And now they're down to 40%. That was before now they're under 40%. And honestly, the trend is going to keep falling. Here, we're only at 3%. That's new cars with 3% manual.
Manual transmission is a anti-theft feature now.
It is. Oh, for sure. Literally, I live in Beaver Dam. I never lock my car. Unless there's some value. There's no reason to. There's no reason to. How would they steal it? Explain to me. If I left the key in there and I walked away, how would they steal it? They couldn't. They'd be like, I don't know what to do. They'd get started. No, they probably couldn't because they wouldn't know how to start it.
So I had, so when I first bought my car, I was dating a woman, and there's one morning where I was like, hey, could you go out and start my car for me? Because she's going to go start her car. I was like, well, could you start mine too? Didn't think anything of it because I've known how to drive manuals. My dad wouldn't let me get my license so I could drive a stick shift. So she comes back and she's like, your car's really quiet. I'm like, well, yeah, it's because it's brand new. Well, I go out there, she stuck the key in there, turned it, and then got out. She never hit the clutch, so it didn't start. And she's like, "Wow, this is really quiet." Well, no shit, because the engine isn't running. She never hit the clutch.
That's
Yeah, because I mean that was back in 2005.
yeah. No, this and that back then. I don't know.
2008,
I don't know what the percentage of people who were there who
Not
had manuals.
many.
Well, not many. I know in the 90s it was dying, so it's dying now.
Yep.
I know. I think my parents bought in 2000 and was it 2004 or something like that. They bought the Kia, and the Kia is one of the last cars that standard had a manual transmission, and it was $1,000 actually with the automatic. My dad's like, I'm not paying for an automatic, so that's the only brand new car they ever bought. Only ever brand new car. You remember the Kia Spectra? It was a piece of crap, but it ran to 180,000 miles.
You literally had to pound the freaking rear brake drums on just to make them on. They burnt, smoked a bunch of the layer off.
Yeah,
That's how crappy it was.
yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great.
Well,
Hey.
gas cars will die soon.
They're gonna be dead. I know.
There'll be
Manuals
sad
are-
parts, but overall it'll be alright.
No, it won't. But I will be sad. The manual will die. I'll be sad, and I will have to find a car to drive around, and I'll mope around in my electric vehicle to work and back. And the weekends or some days I'm going to
You
work.
won't mope. You'll sit in the back seat while a car drives you, and you'll be watching Netflix or YouTube all day long.
There's an idea. I'll hire a chauffeur.
You don't need to hire a chauffeur.
you'll
The
buy a
Tesla will
chauffeur
be
car.
your chauffeur.
I don't trust that shit.
Not yet.
I don't trust that shit.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Not yet. You
When
don't.
the statistics hits, when the
Oh, I don't
statistics
trust that
match
shit.
reality.
Oh no, I don't trust nothing.
You drove with autopilot today?
Yeah, but I was still at the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't trust nothing. I'm antitrust. That's about right. Well, I think that's a long ass video. I'm Shane.
I'm Tristan.
I'm John.
And
Tag your